baby.
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Ayana.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Get away, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, I know a place we can go, 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 get away.
Fill in the blank.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another week here at Fill in the Blank podcast. Hi, Ayana.
Hi, Kayla.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Look, you're not fan-effing-tabulous this time, though.
No, not this time.
We have to address the elephant in the room.
What, my vagina?
Yes.
Oh.
I guess that wasn't kind to call it an elephant, but
Well, I bet people who don't know is going to like, what?
yeah. Do you want to share?
Yeah. So about 2 weeks ago, it's crazy. It's been like 2 weeks.
That's crazy, but it has been dragging the F out.
You telling me. So about 2 weeks ago, I started to develop a Bartholin cyst. It is a they develop because you have a clogged duct from your Bartholin gland. So for those of you who don't, it's about to get a little rated R, but on accident. The Bartholin gland is what secretes fluids during sex.
Mm-hmm.
So my gland got clogged. There's no reason for this. They say it happens literally just for bad luck. It got clogged, and so I started to develop a cyst, basically the size of an extra large lemon. You saw it, Kayla. How bad was it?
It is etched into my memory.
It was bad.
It's pretty bad.
It was really people, and I think people thought I was being dramatic, or even when I said they were like, "Oh my God, you must be in so much pain." But then when people see it, it's like, "Oh,
no, that thing was next level. That thing.
I was deformed."
You know, it took on a whole life of its own.
Literally.
And it was trying to suck the life out of you so it could
was
live on
sucking the life. It was sucking
so it
the
could
life.
live on its own.
It was a parasite.
Yeah.
It was bad, y'all. But I had to go to the ER and I got it drained the first time, but they didn't keep the incision open and they thought it would just drain on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb. And it came back angrier than ever. And so I had to go to the ER the next day and get my lovely hoo-ha cut open again and pushed and drained. But this time they inserted what they call a word catheter. It's not a urethra catheter, so don't freak out. But it's a word catheter. They put a little balloon in there and inflate it while it's inside so it doesn't slip out through the incision to keep the incision open. So yeah, it has to stay in for 10 to 14 days. I have an appointment next Tuesday to get it taken out.
I'm so sorry, friend.
It's okay. I couldn't I couldn't leave my house for a week and a half.
You just don't deserve this. Like, I don't know if anybody deserves this, but there are just some people that have done some things that maybe a little pain wouldn't hurt. But like, you really don't deserve this.
I really didn't deserve this.
No, I don't understand.
It did. But anyways, Monday was my first time leaving the house. I went to work. I could only stay for a few hours because I was wildly uncomfortable sitting down for too long. And then I went back home. Honestly, wearing underwear is just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm free
I
balling
can
right
imagine.
now. I'm free balling right now.
We free.
So yeah. But anyways, other than that, actually no. Look, it's cloudy, y'all.
Ayana, please.
This took me out. It made me overwhelmed because I feel behind now and a lot of stuff is happening right now and I haven't really been able to focus on anything. So.
Yeah. And this is what a
terrible time.
Untimely time.
Terrible time.
For this to happen. Like, we have so much stuff coming up.
We have the live show.
Jeez.
New York is coming to visit me this weekend.
Jeez. And you about to be struggling.
And
this, look at the finger. This will be a great testament to show how much he cares for you because you'll probably still be waddling just a little bit. You know, you're a lot better now than
I mean, the fact that I can actually just walk is fine.
Is impressive.
Yeah, because I could
without crying.
I was heavy on the without crying. Asia saw me. I was like, I was literally in tears. I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that before in my life.
Yeah.
And it was constant. It didn't stop for days.
That is just so terrible.
For days. One of those days I didn't even eat because I was just laying
in
there.
so much pain. And how could you think of eating at a time like that?
I couldn't think of anything. And I was just laying in silence because the remote was on the floor. It's not like I couldn't reach to grab it. I was just like, I was disabled, y'all. It was bad. It was really bad.
It was bad. Like, it was to the point, y'all, where Ayana was trying to like push through and she thought that she could just deal with it. But this taught me something about our friendship. Like, I've learned something new about Ayana through this time. That Ayana is the type of friend that you just have to pull up on. You quite literally cannot ask her, Ayana, do you need help? Ayana, what can I do for you? You just have to do it. And so I'm like, bugged her enough to make her
literally
want to go to the ER and tell me that she was ready to go. But then I had to make an executive decision because you were going to wait.
I was trying to wait until Jared got back.
Right. Because you were scared.
Because I was terrified.
Yeah. You thought nobody could go back there with you.
Yeah. And I thought, literally. I was like, I'm just going to say that like he's my husband so he can come. I just don't want to be back there by myself.
Yeah. Even though I knew, but isn't your real like zodiac sign a Taurus? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very
stubborn.
Taurus of her.
This is where the stubborn came
Oh my
in.
gosh.
I was so stubborn.
She was like, no, they're only going to let... I said, Ayana, that's not true. Yes, it is. They're not going to let anybody else come back there. They're not going to let anybody else come back there. And I'm not going to go. I'm just going to wait. I was like, girl, you need to go to the doctor now. So finally... we convinced her.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And so then when I realized, I was like, she cannot wait until I get off of work. So I called Asia. I said, Asia, are you up? I'm like, do you have Caleb right now? She was like, no. I said, you need to go get Ayana.
The first thing Asia said was, is she going to let me help her?
She was like, is she going to let me pick her up? At that point,
I said, yes, help me.
I said, she's going to let you pick her up.
Help.
Just go get her.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that you went. Because imagine.
What I really can't imagine is experiencing this without my support system that I literally just got.
Yeah.
Because Raven came to help me. Raven was picking up blood tissues off the floor. She cleaned up my apartment a little bit because it was a mess. Mm-hmm. You helped me. Mm-hmm. Asia helped me. Jared helped me. Yeah. Natalie helped me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to, I don't know what I would have done if I was just in there by myself. And at some point I felt like I was alone, but then I remembered like,
first of all, you told everybody not to help you. I'm fine, guys. Everybody was like, Ayana, let's help you. No, it's okay.
I really thought I was going to be okay. And I was like, no, it's going to be fine. Like, it'll go down. And it just kept swelling. And so I said, okay, at this point, I can't take the pain anymore. I'm terrified.
Yeah. But the pain was worse.
The pain was, oh my God, the pain was so bad.
Yeah.
The pain was, it was bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just so happy that, this was a teachable moment though. Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know that I'm just going to have to pull up on you. And if I get fussed at for pulling up on you, it is what it is. But I would much rather that than the alternative.
Yeah.
Because
I was a little scared that I was going to die of like sepsis. People thought I was being dramatic when I said that too. But when I got there, the nurse was like, yeah, if this had, she was like, I'm happy it didn't rupture because if it's infected and it did rupture, you might have developed sepsis. I said, oh. Okay.
You were really trying to push yourself to the limit.
Because I really just I was terrified of ending up back there by myself. And I was scared that they weren't going to give me anesthesia. Because I heard a lot of women don't get anesthesia. And I'm a Black woman. Yeah. So I was scared that
you wanted somebody to be there to help advocate.
And I knew
you.
for a fact that Jared would have been like, no. Mm-hmm. This is what we're not going to do. Mm-hmm. So I was like scared. I was terrified. I have never been that scared before in my entire life.
Yeah, no. There was fear in her eyes. Like when she was getting it drained, she was holding on to me like pull-up bars onto my arms.
You think that's bad. And I'm kind of happy that Jared came the second time.
Because it was worse that time.
Because it was worse that time. And at some point, I was holding on to Jared. Like, and he just... I told her, I said, you're going to have to use your entire upper body to just like shield over me because I don't think that like at this point, because I know what the pain is like. I don't think that I'll be able to like hold myself. Mm-hmm. And so he just put his entire upper body over me and I just like held him and I was like shaking.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was really bad. Like I couldn't look at it just to see what they were doing. I was just looking at you like, it's okay. I felt like being like I was in the room with somebody like giving birth. Like that's kind of equivalent feeling. Like I was looking, breathe, it's okay. Yeah, we're gonna make it through. But whew, I'm glad that is like.
Look, now I'm fascinated by it. Now I want to show everybody my vagina. I'm like, do you want to see what it looked like? It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was wild. Even the doctor was like, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
She was like, oh wow, it looks very angry.
Yeah, but the guy doctor that came in, he was like, it's impressive.
At some point, I was kind of proud. I was like, you want to see? All the doctors kind of was like, you want to see the prize, right? It was bad.
Yeah, so that was, why we missed our episode last week. We had to focus on that. That was like definitely of the utmost importance at the time.
Out of commission, man.
Yeah.
It's okay though. Your girl's back.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. We have made it through.
Let's hope I never get this again. Oh yeah, that's another thing. For anyone who does end up getting a Bartholin cyst, they happen for no reason. And they say if you get one, the likelihood of you getting repeated ones is a lot higher.
And we're just going to really speak over this thing that it's not going to happen like that for her. Because
I hope not.
You can't go through that again.
I really can't go through that again.
No.
Natalie said she gets them twice a year, but hers are nowhere near like how mine was.
And like the thing is, I hope that like worst case scenario, if it does come back, even though we're saying that it's not coming back, that it won't be like how it was
won't be
this
like
time.
That.
Yeah. If it's small and it just drains on its own, that's one thing.
I can even handle the mild discomfort.
Yeah.
Of like maybe not being able to like cross my legs or like sit down completely comfortable. But whatever the hell I experienced, I couldn't even stand up for longer than 30 seconds.
No, that was
crying.
bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
I was on FaceTime with you like, you need to go to the doctor.
It took you literally like 3 days to convince me because you started on Saturday. Ayana, you need to
when
go
it
to the
wasn't
ER.
bad like that.
It was still getting bad.
Yeah, you were still walking around though. You were like, I went to urgent care. I'll go back to the ER today. Yeah. And then you never went. And I was like, you want me to come with you? And you were like, no, I think I'm good. I'll just go. So that's what I'm saying. I learned through that. I was like, I cannot ask her nothing.
My ass off. I said, yeah, I'll go.
I'm like, I can't ask her
and then
anything.
She texted me, did you go? No.
Like, I know now. It's okay. Like, don't look at me sideways when I text you, I'm downstairs, let's go. Because that's what's going to happen with you. I see now. I see the Taurus. It's peeking its head out.
It be there sometimes.
Man.
It's only when there's like a fear instinct that kicks in where that stubborn.
You
like,
just
really,
get hell bent.
I do get hell bent. I get really stubborn.
Yeah.
It's bad. But anyways, what about your week? What about your week?
Well, I was helping you.
Yeah.
So that was that. And what else was happening? I don't know, just life. Like, I'm still in grad school. I hate that.
Same old.
Same old. I'm just like trying to make it through, man. Like,
you're surviving though.
I'm just surviving. I'm really.
But it's almost over, Kayla.
I keep trying to tell myself that, but it's so bad to the point now where my students be like, Miss Scott, you hate it. I'm like, I hate it. I'm ready to go. They know me well enough now where they don't get offended. It's like, it's not y'all, it's not, me. Yeah. And it's this place. And they get it because they are tired of being there too. Yeah. And they're ready to go. But they're just like, dang, Miss Scott, like, I could tell. I told them, I was like, y'all, I won't be at work on Friday. It was like, dang, why you not coming to work? I was like, and I won't be at work the 2 Fridays after that. They like, dang. I'm like, yeah, no, I gotta. They was like, Miss Scott be gone. They know I leave right at 3:30 on the dot. Everybody else, all the other teachers be roaming around. I get up out of there, skedaddle, gots to go.
I feel that. Get that check and leave.
I'm like, listen, y'all, how y'all are off at 3:30 and y'all ready to go? I'm off at 3:30 and I'm ready to go. They like, I feel you. I'm like, catch y'all tomorrow.
I love that. There's a mutual understanding.
Yeah, boundaries,
Beautiful.
Boundaries.
Okay.
So yeah, my week was, I really can't remember a lot of it. Like, it feels like a blur. I just remember what happened.
Surviving.
I really am. I'm coasting right now and I really need to stop. But I did decide in other news that I'm going to start knitting.
What the hell? What the hell?
Because, okay, what was I listening to? Oh, I was listening to my favorite podcast, The Friend Zone. Aside from our podcast, my other favorite podcast, The Friend Zone. And Fran brought up that the idea about during her wellness segment, like how often do we do things that we enjoy to do without something being attached to it? Like just having a hobby, just hobby. For your own enjoyment.
I'm trying that textured art thing this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I was waiting until New York got here, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
See, stuff like that. And so I don't know why, but sometimes, my grandmother, that blanket right there, my grandmother actually made she always makes blankets for all of us, like before we go to college. It's like a rites of passage thing. Yeah. So I just can see myself though sitting on the couch watching TV and just like
crocheting.
Yeah, like I just feel like it'll be very therapeutic.
I agree.
So I decided that I'm gonna pick that up as a hobby, to give myself something of enjoyment to look forward to on just like random days. And I kind of got confirmation because I saw something. I don't remember where I read it, but it was like if the only time you feel a release is when you go on vacation, you're not doing it right.
Ooh, that's good.
Like you should be able to, on a normal basis, have something that relaxes you on a daily basis.
I feel like that's essential to mental health.
Yeah. And I know I have not been doing a good job at that because I'm just constantly on go. And so I think I need to set aside a certain day. Like I was just thinking about this. I was like, dang, like, and then on my off days, like days where I'm like, kind of chilling, I call all my friends and try to check in with everybody, like to make sure that everybody's good. So I'm like, I'm still not pouring into myself.
Look, Abby.
So I'm going to set aside a day of the week where it's like, okay, Kayla, like you come home, you're not talking on the phone or anything. You just like focus on you.
You should do like a weekend, like a Sunday.
That's hard because I have like Sundays are not. No. I think I need to do it during the week, you know, like to give me something to look forward to when I come home after work. But I can do Sundays as well too. Like, but I just want it to be kind of incorporated throughout my entire, week.
Bro,
so
we gonna go to church?
Yeah, we need to go. But right now my classes are on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So
I haven't really found a church home anyways that I like.
Yeah, so that's another thing I want to incorporate that. But I've been making sure to journal more often. I've been like really focused on that, like the spirituality and making sure I'm connecting with God and hearing from him for myself. That's been such a like huge theme, not like hearing from God the messages that he wants to give to me and praying for confirmation through people that I trust. Yeah. To make sure that I'm correct in what I think that I'm hearing. So yeah, that's really what I've been up to. Like all of those revelations last week because we were off. And so that was kind of like a little bit of like freedom in my week to think and be present and whatnot.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, today, as you all see, I have on my dashiki.
Look.
So I have decided that we're going to do kind of like a fun episode, but I don't know how fun it's going to be. Like, it's going to be kind of serious, kind of fun, but it's Black History Month. So we want to make sure that we honor Black History Month because we's Black.
I'm Black and I'm proud.
Say it loud.
I'm Black and I'm proud.
Okay. So before we get into the main topic that's going to be kind of silly, I do want to talk about and acknowledge the fact that the white people are in an uproar because have you watched
the conservative white people are in an uproar?
Yes. Correction. The conservative white people are in an uproar about so for those of you who don't know, the Proud Family
Asia, what the hell? Asia, we're causing a ruckus.
For those of you who don't know, the Proud Family is rebooted. It's called The Proud Family Louder and Prouder. And they're on their second season right now. Oh. It's really good, actually. It's very entertaining.
Okay.
And they just kind of have all the old characters back besides Sticky because as we know, what's his name? Orlando Brown. He's unhinged now. And he plays
Dang,
Sticky.
I forgot Orlando Brown was Sticky.
Yeah.
Dang, I loved Sticky.
I know. So they wrote him off. So Sticky is gone. Dang, but they still have some good characters. They have, y'all remember Michael that was on The Proud Family? He was like the gay boy, implied gay boy that would come up every once in a while and cheer with them.
The white boy?
No, he was black. And he used to wear a sweatband around his head.
Yes.
So they have Michael. Michael has a bigger role in the show now. And he's like flamboyant. And it's really cool to see that character like take life in the show now that Sticky's gone.
Okay.
But one of the episodes that came out in this season, I just watched it, and it's so crazy because I didn't think anything of it when I watched it, but then I saw that people were mad about it, and I was like, wait, what? I thought this was just common knowledge. So the episode was basically about them being on a debate team, and they were going to potentially lose the debate because Zoe had strained her voice or lost her voice, so she couldn't debate. And they ended up having to put Dejanay in.
Oh, God.
And Dejanay ends up falling in love with the guy on the other team. And the guy on the other team is Chance the Rapper. Chance is voicing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. I heard the voice. Marcus like, that's Chance. And, he has a very distinct voice.
Very distinct voice.
So, she's like, they're all trying to focus and stay on track. And she's like all over this guy. And some stuff happens. I don't want to spoil the whole episode, but they end up coming up with this creative debate that basically is talking about Black people, slaves, building the country and us deserving reparations. And like they promised us 40 acres and a mule. We still haven't got it. So they're like just calling stuff like it is. They were like, well, they said that Abe Lincoln freed the slaves, but in reality, so they were going in, and it was kind of like the way that they did it was like a poem almost. Like it was like slaves built this country, and then they were like
it was like spoken word.
Yeah, it was like spoken word. Yeah. So it was really cool. But I'll pull up this article that I found.
Wait, there's a whole article on it?
Yes, I'm telling you, the people.
I just saw the tweet of them calling it anti-white.
Yeah, but no, there's articles about this.
That's crazy.
So it says the animated preteens, all but one, this is the New York Post. The animated preteens, all but one of whom are Black, also chant that they demand our 40 acres and a mule in reference to a promise made to freed slaves following the Civil War and an apparent request for reparations. We'll take the 40 acres, keep the mule, they saying. We made your families rich, from the Southern plantation heirs to the Northern bankers to the New England ship owners, the founding fathers, former presidents, current senators. So let me go to the top because I didn't realize that I was there. But that's some of the like things that they were saying. But it says critics are slamming Disney as woke and anti-white over an episode of a kids show that features a song covering the history of slavery in the U.S. and the need for reparations. The backlash stemmed from a Juneteenth episode of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, a reboot of the popular early blah, 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 blah. A clip from the episode that's been making rounds on social media shows characters singing a tune about how America has still not atoned for slavery and systematic racism. So they're just basically blew because they were caught. Look, it said we had Tubman, Turner, Frederick D. Then they say Lincoln freed the slaves, but slaves were men and women, and only we can free ourselves. Emancipation is not freedom. They was going in, but it was like facts,
That's what when I watched the clip of the actual song itself, by the end of it, I was like, what part of that was anti-white? Because literally all of it was very factual. Very factual. It was literally just recounting history.
But it's the fact that this is the history that white people have, certain white people, I won't generalize, but they've tried to hide this part of history for so long, and they want to make it seem as though they built the country. Black people did nothing, and they want to hide the greatness and the things that we have done for them, and they don't like the fact that they're being held accountable for the reparations that we still haven't received.
Yeah, I think from a lot of the argument that I hear from mostly a lot of conservative white people is that it happened so long ago. So yes, all that stuff happened, but it happened so long ago. Like, how are you still affected by the things that happened that long ago, quote unquote?
Well, we know the answer to that. That doesn't, I feel like that's such a weak argument.
It really is.
Because
I mean, look at the Black community. This ain't all on us, bruh.
So much of where we are today has to do with like where we came from, and we're still climbing the ladder. We're still trying to claw our way up because of things that happened to our ancestors and because of unkept promises. Because
ancestors, to our grandparents.
Come on. That too.
Our grandparents.
That too. And that's the part that's really crazy to think. Like, I know, like, my family is from Mississippi. And my Nana and my Papa moved up here, but they are from Jackson, Mississippi. You know, like, and thankfully they were a little far removed from some of those experiences, but there's probably some things that, like, I've asked my Nana about this, and I think that there's just some things she probably has discounted in her mind because it was so normalized at that time, you know, that like if she really thought about it and she shared some of the stories, it'd be like, wait, what? Like, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Southern Black people, they also look at the North as like not that much better because they say white people up north will smile in your face but be racist. And at least down south, you know.
That's literally what the argument that I hear. Because, you know, I mean, I've lived up north, but I'm from the
down
south.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I hear people say. That I'd rather deal with, what is it, covert and covert, whatever, racism. They're like, I'd rather, you know, them say it to my face.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Racism is racism. Like, come on now.
I don't want none of it. Y'all can take it all. I don't want none of it. So yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up and highlight that. But I think that y'all should definitely go watch The Proud Family. It is so good.
At least watch that clip and tell us what you think.
Yeah, at least watch it and see what they like. They didn't say nothing bad. And it was funny because at one point, one of them said something and one of the characters like covered their mouth and made them stop talking. Like, okay, you get too deep there. Like, don't say all of that. But it's just very interesting. I saw nothing wrong with it. I thought it was beautiful. I'm glad that they
touched on it.
Yeah, that they touched on it. Like, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Why we hiding the truth? We over that. It's 2023, baby.
They trying to bury it. Look what they doing in, what is it, Texas? They trying to bury that.
You see, we still fighting to have just African-American history
just acknowledged
in schools.
Acknowledged.
You got European history and U.S. history.
Bro, I know all about them Greek folks.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a force to require African-American history in schools when it is such a big part of U.S. history.
Like, come on, it's how we were.
And they literally, I remember taking U.S. history in school and then brushing over it in a single chapter.
Even they brush over the brutality of it.
Yeah. We still don't know the full extent of the things that happened to our ancestors.
It was bad.
It was way worse than the things that they share with us.
Even the stuff that I'm still learning, I'm like, ah.
I know.
My God.
It's rough. It's rough. So, like, them on the Proud Family saying they little piece about what they said, the fact that that's bothering people and it's sending people into an uproar and they're calling Disney out and they want Disney to...
I don't think people understand the impact that it has to completely ignore that piece of our history, not just on the Black community, but on everyone as a whole. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand the benefits of acknowledging it.
Yeah, because they're not in the minority. And so when you're not in the minority and you can't see beyond your scope, that your world, you've been accepted in every space that you've entered, you know, you can't possibly imagine what it feels like to constantly be like the target, constantly be othered, constantly have to prove yourself or work just twice as hard to receive the same amount of credibility as white counterparts. Like, the fact that that's not received by people, it's just, that's the reason why it's still an issue today. Yeah. Because we're still lingering on those facts. Like, it's our truth every single day. We can't hop out our skin. It is what it is. Like,
right.
I just had this conversation with my students actually recently about code switching.
Oh, code switching.
I did a classroom lesson on it. So I went and talked to the freshmen and sophomores about code switching. And it's so interesting because all of them say that they code switch.
We all do it.
And all of them say they don't see a problem with it.
I remember being in the pods.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very much so different, of course, with like Jared or the other black guy, Brandon. Well, I wasn't that different with Brandon, but very different with Jared than I was with like some of the white guys that I was on dates with.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point I acknowledged the fact that I did code switch with them. And they're like, well, why do you feel like you can't be completely, like, why don't you talk to me the way that you talk to Jared? And I'm like, because if I had come in here talking it that way to you, you would have immediately judged me.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. So instead, I come in here and I talk like this because it's more digestible for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that I'm better educated. Meanwhile, I'm talking to Jared like,
yeah. And that's like really sad that that's the way that it is. But it was just interesting. Like, I wasn't necessarily trying to like tell them what they should or shouldn't do. I just wanted to hear their mindset, you know?
Code switching it's survival.
Yeah, but I wanted them to
that.
understand.
That
I wanted them to
that
understand.
It shouldn't be.
Yes. I wanted them to understand that they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted them to understand that they don't have to do it. And they should show up as their selves in spaces. But hold on, this is the thing. There's a fine line between professionalism.
Yeah.
And this is what I was explaining to them. If you are in a space where you're talking with someone, right? And like you're going for a job interview, because they wanted to bring that up. And I'm like, but there's a difference between professionalism and code switching.
I see what you mean.
You see what I mean? Like, if you are talking to a white friend,
yeah,
I don't want you to shift your personality, because if you have to shift yourself, that person doesn't need to be your friend.
I agree.
So that was the part I wanted them to understand.
I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. Most of my friends are black, but I have a white friend in Rhode Island. Love her.
Mm-hmm.
She's first person who revived my
my
faith in white people. I'm not even gonna lie. Because of her, I am just a lot more open to having friends outside of like, because I grew up in the South.
Yeah,
I grew up in the South.
Exactly.
But I'm not gonna lie. I do test my non-black friends, and I have before. I remember there was a coworker that I had, and I was in the car with him, and I said the N-word. And then, what was it, a week or two later, he felt comfortable to say it back. I said, you're dead to me. Dead to me. But I know all black people don't agree with the N-word. Nonetheless, it is something that...
We had that conversation too.
Yeah.
We talked to them about using the N-word.
Yeah.
And they was like, it's our, we took it back. It's ours. Like, it's something that we need, like, for our community.
Wait, I never asked you. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I say it, but like in theory, like when I really think about it, I wish that I could stop using it.
You wish it wasn't so heavily ingrained in your
Yes, because
vocabulary?
like I hate that it's something that we have embraced.
I feel it.
Because the meaning of the word is an ignorant person.
I feel it.
And it was used to
demean us.
To demean us and talk down on our ancestors. And when they heard that word, it was hurtful for them, you know? And so I hate the fact that Black people feel like it's empowerment, that we've taken this negative word and turned it positive, but it's not, because the quite literal definition of it is still negative. It is not. But I mean, like, it's hard because I get what they're saying, because it's ingrained in our culture now, you know? And because this is part of like what we were talking about, being far removed from it. It's like you're so far removed that like you acknowledge that this is something that was terrible, like used for a terrible purpose. There's pain in the word. And they'd be like, but it's a difference between the A and the hard ER. I'm like,
I feel like I should stop saying it now.
I say this to myself all the time, but it's so hard.
I say
it's hard.
So much.
I don't say it so much, but I say it.
I've said it,
and I don't think about it.
Parents saying it, like, that's how bad. I say it a lot,
and it's crazy though, because like my family, I've never heard anybody in my family, like I'm talking about like the adults, like people that I grew up around, use the N-word.
How did you come to use it so much then? Friends,
being in school,
peers, yeah.
And I think that's so. The other thing is like, going to an all Black school, like the conversation that I started with them is like, when, like, being Black, do you feel as though you have a target on your back? That was my opening question.
At an all Black school?
At an all Black school. And so it's interesting because a lot of them said, well, I can't feel like I have a target on my back because my whole experience has been going to school with Black people.
Yeah.
So I don't ever really feel othered.
I mean, there's safety in it.
But then there were other kids who like are in the world of, we have a lot of speech kids at our school. So like it's like competition, like speech. They go and they do these competitions. There's different like categories that you would do your speech under. So it could be like dramatic interpretation or improv and all these different things. And they basically like compete by speaking and performing almost like these monologues.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're really good at that.
Okay.
At our school. So they talk about how they constantly feel othered because speech is a white dominated thing. And so they go to these competitions and they're constantly like, they constantly have to be like straightening up. And they were talking about the code switching in that like when they get there, they can't do the same thing that the white kids do without being looked down upon. Like if they singing and dancing, they're looked at as wild and unruly. But if the white kids sing and dance, like, oh, joy, look at the children, they're having fun, you know? So it was just really interesting to me that like, I think that I got where they were coming from because my elementary school was all Black. From kindergarten to 8th grade, I went to an all Black school. And then I went to a completely melting pot of a high school where there was white kids, Black kids. That was the first time that my scope expanded beyond like white, Black, Hispanic.
Really?
Yes.
Really? My elementary school was like that. I remember in elementary school, there were 2 things I got called, the N-word and wetback.
And what?
Wetback. Because I'm half Mexican.
That is really disrespectful.
I was clearly Mexican then because my hair was, but I used to get called the N-word and wetback a lot.
Oh my God.
Growing up, yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I just used to get the Oreo thing.
You used to get called the Oreo? Oh,
all the time.
I would get called I get called white girl, but by my own family.
White girl, Oreo. You not Black for real.
This whole Black, the regulating Blackness thing, it pisses me off.
It's really bad.
It pisses me off.
It's really bad. And it used to make me like, that was part of the reason why, like, when I went to high school, because people called me white girl so much and they called me Oreo so much, I looked forward to connecting with other races because I'm like, what is it about me that's so different from other Black people that I'm being called something other than what I obviously am?
You're
like,
right.
I'm obviously Black.
Right.
Without a question.
Right.
But then I went there and I still hung out with Black people. Like, I didn't really make any white friends when I was in
college?
In high school.
Oh, in high school.
I made a few. I had a few, but none that like stuck. You know, my closest friendships were with other Black kids.
I will say it's difficult even when it comes to dating because going on the show, I was open to being with someone of a different race, specifically a white man. I was open to it. I mean, clearly I had to be. But what I recognized is there was a disconnect there, even when it came to understanding, because I think especially in the Black community, we put a lot of emphasis on survival and resilience and strength. And I recognize that I need some form of recognition in that way, like, oh, you've been through a lot of things and look where you are now. But even when I would talk about my experience of like some of the things that I've been through, they just like, they didn't understand any of it.
That's why I have always known that I could not date outside my race.
I thought I could. And I think in some extent I probably still can, but I think it would take a very, very specific kind of white man.
Yeah, very, very specific.
Like someone who's very understanding and who educates themselves. Because I'm not trying to sit here and educate you on everything. Like you need to have a curiosity on your own.
Yep.
About my culture.
You have to, like, for you to be a white person and date somebody black to the point that you would think that you could potentially see a future with them and have children with them.
Yeah.
You have to be
heavy on the children.
You have to be so aware because you're going to have black kids.
You're going to have black kids.
And that's a huge responsibility for a white person to raise black children. And they're going to have a completely different life experience than what you have.
Own, yeah.
Which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Because it shouldn't be like that.
Man. Really, but I also have found that like I've never had a white man interested in me before.
Neither have I.
Ever.
I wouldn't even know what that looks like.
No.
I've never been, but have you seen the studies?
What?
Black women are the least desired of all races, and we're the least likely to go outside of our race. While black men are
that's a whole nother
black men are
conversation.
desired, and black men will definitely go outside of their race.
And black men, we about to get into something. There are a lot of black men who have decided that they are no longer dating black women.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like it's more rare that black women have decided to be done with black men. They talk stuff, but they not done.
This
what do
makes
you
me think. So before I went on the show, I remember tweeting something about maybe I should date outside of my race. The black men in my comments were like, oh, really? And one of the men, it's crazy. One of the men who commented was dating a white woman. And I'm like, the hypocrisy.
But they don't.
Hypocrisy.
Black men, a lot of times, like, hate things about black women.
Which is why they date. Because if you ask, they'll say, well, and they'll do a comparison thing. It's like, no. If you want to date outside of your race, if that's your preference, that's your preference. But if you're doing it out of spite.
I hate the stereotypes, and I hate the fact that like black women become completely secluded. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I'm open to dating different races. I could, I'll experiment. But I just hate
it's like, I'll date anybody but a black woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is hurtful.
I will say, though, I have seen this wave of black men who are like, where the queens at?
I love that. And I want that to continue.
And I've seen those same black men who are the ones who are like, we need to heal. Like, what's going on?
I do think that something different is happening right now. I
agree.
Though.
I think there's a shift
There was
happening.
a point, and oh my gosh, this is kind of a little all over the place, but it connects. But when I was in undergrad, I worked for this program called Preview, and it was so great because we had so many different kinds of people in this program. And we would sit and have real conversations about stuff because there were a lot of them that were white people who were more conservative. They've been raised like their parents, the ideas that their parents have about stuff. And I allowed for them, even though like I know that like black people don't want to feel like we have to teach white people all of this information. But I also do know that like research goes so far.
Yeah.
And by you sharing your personal experiences, they can reach a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I allowed them to ask me questions about being black and the things, the stereotypes of stuff that goes around. And like, I remember one of the white girls asking me about like, why do black women get so offended when we date black men? I said, oh, girl, let me tell you.
It goes back to that study, though. The fact that we...
Because it's not like we got white men chasing after us.
That's true.
Like, I want me a black queen.
Right.
How many white men do you hear?
I've never been approached by a white man before.
Ever in my life.
I've never been approached by anyone but black men, I think.
Yeah, no.
Oh, well, and then Hispanic men.
I have not been approached by anybody that is not black.
Yeah.
In my entire life. And I, for a long time, and I think this has something to do with it, but just the colorism aspect of being a darker skinned black woman, because I know that there are black women that are fairer that might be approached by white men or different races, but I think that I get deemed as like unapproachable because I'm darker skinned and I don't appear to be as like welcoming, or they feel like I might be like the stern, angry Black woman and all of this stuff. But it's just this conversation is so deeply rooted. Like it could continue to spiral because
that made me think about just me and my Blackness, but it's a tangent. But it made me think about me and my Blackness and how growing up, my hair was usually the telltale sign that I was something else. And so as soon as I got the chance, I chopped that shit off. And I permed my hair and I had that short pixie cut. And some people didn't even know that I was mixed. Because I didn't want to be mixed. Yeah. And I was like, but I'm Black. I'm Black. I swear I'm Black.
Yeah. And I've constantly received that questioning about my hair. Because it's a different texture than what Black hair should be. Right. And
quote unquote.
It goes along with like always receiving the comment of like, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Like, and it made me feel very insecure growing up about my darkness, about me being darker skinned, because I'm just like, well, dang, like I'm pretty for a dark skinned girl. Like, why can't I just be pretty? And why? Because my hair is a different texture. I have to be mixed with something. I can't just be Black.
Right.
And I remember, like, I have vivid memory, and I shared this with my students as well. Like, growing up, I remember being younger and hating being dark skinned so much that I used to like scrub at my skin, like just wishing to, because that's the two things that I always got teased about was being dark skinned and being skinny.
Oh God, don't even get me started on being
it just
skinny.
Was like constant. Just constant.
Random. We should do an episode on like body dysmorphia or something.
Yeah.
Growing up skinny.
Because I thought I wanted to be thick for a long time.
I still want to be thick.
You know,
it just don't sit well on me.
That's what I'm saying.
So
we talked about this. It doesn't look good on me, and so I've given it up. It is not for me.
I just want to be a little bit thicker.
A little thicker?
Yeah.
You probably just need like the gym thickness. Not
I want the gym thickness. Yeah. That's what I want.
Not like, you know how some women, like it looks good for them to be like thick, like
almost like fat thick.
Yeah.
Not fat, but like literal like fat.
And it looks good on them. It doesn't look good on me. It looks bad.
I need muscle.
It needs to be toned.
Yeah.
And in the place that it needs to be, because otherwise my bones are not meant.
Otherwise, clearly people think I'm pregnant.
Yes. That's the other thing. I have so many pictures from when I gained all that weight where I couldn't post it because it really looked like I was pregnant. I was like,
I got tired of my face looking like a moon.
That's what it gets.
I was like, where's my jawline? Like,
I'm so weak.
What happened?
I would look at pictures from when I was younger and my jawline was so like defined.
I was looking at the set. Bro, even looking at that.
Yeah.
I don't look like this no more.
You don't. You look like a baby there.
I do look like a baby.
That looks
Which
like
is crazy because you would think that my short hair would make me look more mature. And
no,
it does sometimes.
But it makes you look like a baby. It makes you look more like petite, like like a fairy.
Oh, not a fairy.
Fairies are cute.
I mean,
okay, we're off topic.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on from all of that stuff and let's move forward to Fill of the Week.
Okay.
So what's your Fill of the Week?
My Fill of the Week is I finished this first book in A Court of Thorns and Roses. But that's a good book. I'm really excited to get to the second book because they say the second one is the best.
Okay.
So, wait, do you want the first book?
Yes.
Are you going to read it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the first book because I have it with me.
Okay.
But
I could read it while I'm at work, like when I'm sitting down, supposed to be monitoring the children. I can read.
I'm so dead. So that I'm about to start All About Love soon. And then I had another one. Oh, I started watching The Bachelor. I actually like Zach.
I told you.
I see what you mean. I like Zach.
He's a good bachelor.
He is a good bachelor.
Yeah. I really like I could see myself liking this season a lot better. But yeah, I really like this season of The Bachelor. We don't ever need two people at the same time ever again. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it was just too much.
But I'm excited to see what this book is all about.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for you to read all About Love. And then we could talk about it because, man, I have The Will to Change over there by Bell Hooks.
Okay.
And I'm excited to read that. Ariel, you've read that before, right? Yeah. So I hear great things about it. So that's going to be my next read. I think that's actually, isn't it about like men and masculinity and love and all of that? Yeah.
Beautiful. Maybe that'll be the next one.
Yep. So I'm going to try to read that. But I also started rereading. I also started rereading More Than Enough by Elaine. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But she was the first Black, editor of Vogue magazine. And she did a lot of positive, amazing things for like inclusivity at Vogue while she was there in that position. And that book, I read it back maybe like some years ago, but I started rereading it, and I feel like this is like the perfect timing for me to reread this book because it's just it's about her life, but she's also dropping gems as she's telling her story and the things that she went through. So yeah. Okay. I guess that could be my feel.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have one.
Let that be your feel.
Yeah, since we're talking about books.
Right. I want to read like a book a month.
Ooh.
If possible.
If I was not in school, I would take on that challenge,
with me.
Mm-hmm. But it's me being in school really kills it.
It's okay. New York's doing it with me.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love that. That's fun. Are you all reading the same books, or are you just...
Yeah, we're both reading All About Love.
Oh.
Isn't that cute? This is what I wanted.
I love that.
This is
such a great book for couples to read together.
Ew, don't say couples.
I mean, you all are a couple.
He ain't my man.
He's not your man, but y'all are a couple.
I don't think so. I don't think that's labeled as a couple.
That's your couple.
We're dating.
Mm-hmm. It's a couple.
No, because couple implies commitment.
Couple feels official, but...
Yeah, it feels official.
It's just a count.
Hey,
there's a couple of people.
A few months. Like, he ain't my man
yet. That's the thing. So I'm speaking positivity over that
let's
thing.
just hope it all keeps going well.
Yeah.
Look, I need to be careful because he listens to our podcast.
Exactly. You over here talking about that's not my man.
He's not my man. That is not my man. I have to tell myself that. I have to tell myself that to keep myself in check.
He's not officially your man, but he's your man.
No, he's not.
Okay.
You can't say that. You can't either. He
Why
is
can't
or
I?
He ain't.
No, you are rejecting that he's your man.
He's not my man.
That's your man.
He's not. He's not. Clear boundaries, Kayla. It's literally how I keep myself in check.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You have to tell yourself that, but I don't have to be on this train with you. I already know what it is, so I'm going to just call a spade a spade. That's your man.
Okay.
I mean, even if he's not your man right now, he's your man.
Okay.
Like, he's going to be your man. Okay, this is getting out of control. Any other feels for the week?
There's a song that I've been listening to on repeat.
Oh, what is it?
It's called On God by Tiana Major 9. Super catchy. I love that song.
Okay.
I've been listening to it repeatedly.
I like the bop with it.
Yeah, I've been listening to it real repeated because I can hear it in my head. I wake up to that song every morning now.
Oh, I love that.
I just go through these phases where I get obsessed with like one song.
Mm-hmm.
But this is that song.
I've been just obsessed with Cleo Soul.
Really?
Lately, like anything Cleo Soul. I just love her. It's like when certain stuff feels like gospel, even though it's not religious in nature, but it just feels like gospel because of what she's saying, just the vibe of the music. It just feels like food nourishing for your soul. Yeah. It's really good. I love it.
I feel it.
So yeah, I love me some Cleo Soul. And I saw her singing on TikTok. And she was saying some good stuff. I posted it on my story because I love her.
Oh. Okay.
What else do I feel?
Not what else do I feel.
I mean, we talked about this on live, but I'll mention it again. DDG.
Square up, bruh.
Do you want a knuckle sandwich?
Right. Square up. Because I'll fight.
I just love Hadley. And if Hadley's happy, she tweeted and she said that she had the best V-Day ever. So
they're together? Or no? I thought there was like rumors about them breaking up or something.
So here's my theory about this. DDG is a troll. I have started to watch him on YouTube now that him and Hallie date. Marcus used to watch him on YouTube back before. And he trolls. Like, and so I feel like he did that because he makes music. And I think that they unfollowed each other and staged a breakup. So that he could promote a song, because he posted like a video of him with this song on, and his song was around like a breakup type of song. So I feel like he did that just to like get attention towards him, so then he could promote.
Worked.
No, he's like a marketing genius. Like he does a lot of stuff that is like clickbaity and whatnot, and it does bring a lot of attention to his brand. So
I just don't want him to mess up Hallie's brand.
Yeah, no, she's a princess.
She's a princess,
literally. So we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for it. She don't got time to be all up in that mess.
And Ruby Rose, you need to have several seats, because who are you even?
Please lay down.
That's gonna really make me mad,
right?
Because I love Hallie.
Yeah.
So we could go to war. We could go to war for that one.
I agree.
So yeah, that, and then Rihanna at the Super Bowl. Amazing. Loved it. Couldn't believe that she was pregnant again. Didn't want to be offensive.
Yeah, when I saw, I was like, she looks. But then I literally Googled. I was like, when did she have this baby? And it was less than a year ago.
I know.
So my assumption was like, well, maybe it's still postpartum body. Because she gives me the kind of vibes of like, well, it's my body, so I don't care.
Yes.
But I mean, she's actually pregnant.
So she pushed that thing out and said, one more. Another one, thank you. That's literally what she said.
But ASAP, he seems so supportive.
He does. I love that for her.
I love seeing the videos of him supporting.
But I also realized in that moment when it was my brain can't think. But when it was confirmed that she was pregnant, I realized that she's not doing the Super Bowl to promote an album that's about to come out. She literally did this as a bucket list thing and to announce her pregnancy. And we are not getting any more music from Rihanna still.
Y'all ain't getting squat.
Nah, it's done.
Y'all ain't getting squat.
So we just need to. Yeah, she has.
And that's okay.
I think that was just like, because did you hear that she didn't get paid?
She said she was dropping an album?
She did?
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe so. Okay. Well, maybe so.
Okay, well, maybe
we'll see. I mean, my fingers are crossed, but also if she decided to end her music career on Anti, that's a great place for her to leave it.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
I mean, it's a win-win.
Bro, imagine
not
if
for
she
us,
does
but
come
for
out
her.
with another album and it sucks. That would be so bad.
She's been out of the game for so long, but I feel like what she probably has been doing, because people who are musically inclined like that, she's probably still creating and she just hasn't put anything out. So she probably has like a bazooka's amount of songs to choose from.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Because she has been a busy woman.
She has.
New mom.
Creating an empire. Being a billionaire.
A billionaire.
It must be a lot.
For real. She got a whole business.
Wow.
That's expanding.
Wow. Love her.
Love her.
Love all of it for her.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up.
Y'all know the drill. You can follow us on TikTok at feelintheblankpod. Follow us on Instagram at feelintheblank_. Make sure that you check out the YouTube video, because our amazing, awesome producer Asia works so very hard on these amazing visuals, and y'all need to see them. So let's get those views up and let's get the comments going so that we can have some conversations, because we actually respond back. So yeah. And then you can follow me at astoldby.kayla and Ayana
at ayana.amore.
We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.